Divine Panther presents Interview with the Vampire is back, but now we're interviewing the Lestat as we talk about his life and apparent death, I guess, as we go through this. But anyway, we're gonna get through all that. I will change my background. Thank you very much. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. You can like on the video, you can comment on the video, you can share the video. Did you even realize what you were watching? Because I know I was confused. But let's get the intro and do it. Let's do
it. Hello, everyone. And welcome to Iron Panther Precincts. We talking facts, breaking down every scene like you're watching with the cast. Yeah. Iron Panther Precincts, we break it all down. Every show, every film, best takes in town. Hit like, drop a comment, let the fan vibe. If you feel what we saying, go subscribe. Hey. Iron Panther Precincts, come along for the ride. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep us live.
I think, okay, I feel like what they're trying to do, let us know this is not what you've watched before, and that we are in the mind of Lestat, and therefore everything is told from his perspective, whether he's sober, whether he's not, and he's a rock and roll star trying to figure out who he is. So I feel like they were like, this is not season 1 and 2, because Terry was like, this is not, where's Louis? Like, she was thought this, like, it was going to be the same, like, no, baby, we got to do a different thing, and they did a different thing. But anyway, I want to get
very different thing.
See, but yeah. Are viewers going to stay along for the ride? Like, I think that's a there you go. So it's Jemai, what are you thinking? Because like, I don't know.
I'm like, it would be one thing if they didn't make the music and the concerts as much a part of the show. I don't. It's just, if you're not into that genre of music, you're alienating the remaining amount of the audience. I don't know where it's like, it's not structured. It was hard to figure out what was present and what was past. And I don't like doing that much reading. I'm like, this is worse than, this should be on PBS because it had subtitles and then you got to read all these text messages. I think this might be meant for like Gen Z or something like that, where they like to text and read and stuff. I'm like, this is just way too much going on.
So I think that is the point, that season 1 and 2 was the 1800s. It was the past, and they showed us life in the past. And now they're trying to push, this is modern, this is now, and it's and therefore we gotta almost the future actually. And like, and so in some cases, because he's dead, and clearly that's the future. So it's like, and they're trying to shove that kind of technology to say, again, it's not what we saw before. But yeah, the music was a lot. But Chris, what do you think about the new setting?
No, it's not that. From what I remember from the book of Lestat, it started off just like this, but it's mostly flashbacks. So it starts off with him being in the rock band, and then the autobiography comes out, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And then we get into the whole early life of Lestat. So that was the 1800s. Now we're going to go much earlier. If it's anything like the actual Lestat, we're going to go to his life and how Magnus turned him and him turning his own mother. And that's the majority of the book. The majority of the book is his past and his love, what's his lover's name? Not Louis, but before Louis even existed.
No, not Magnus. Nicholas. Is it Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas. Yeah, Nicholas. And the whole thing with Nicholas. And then, with a little bit of Louis, that's really what that's supposed to be. And then then kind of going to modern day of the rock band, which I think it was like the 80s back in the book version. So I looked at it, was like, oh, okay, this is the introduction of it. Now I'm hoping like the rest of it is supposed to be just more flashbacks of like what happened to Lestat and how he got turned. You know what I mean? Just like the first one was like more of like Louis and his story. Now this is, if it's anything, it was the way Anne Rice wrote it. Now it's supposed to be what happened to Lestat, because it did start off with him being in the rock band, you know what I mean? And then it kind of didn't go in the past. I was surprised that the whole episode pretty much was the rock band thing. I'm hoping now that we'll kind of go back into Lestat's like life and how he was turned and that whole thing. The fact that his mother was in this at the end, I was like, oh, okay. Then that to me told me like, okay, yes, this will be like a a flashback season similar to Louis, like when Louis was present day talking to Dan and saying, "Oh, you want to know about my life?" And then, whoop, and then we get all those episodes. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. So I was fine with it. You know what I mean? Because of that, I think just kind of knowing where it should be going. You know what I mean? Not to mention, I do kind of like the idea of, some of the, I like some of the comedy they kind of brought in this one episode here too. So, but I don't think all the episodes are going to be like this. I think the majority of the time is going to go much further back into the past, but just more Lestat's, his, how he came about. You know what I mean? Him and Gabriella. So,
All right. Kim, what was your first impressions of the first episode?
I was like, who wrote this music? And the music is terrible. I'm sorry. It's just really bad. And because I actually like rock and roll, and I was like, this is not hitting at all. But I thought that the visuals were beautiful. Like the cinematography was excellent. The CGI was really on point. Like they had the crowd one where he was like laying on the crowd, and then they had like a double exposure of that. It was beautiful. And of course, Lestat is delicious. He looks fantastic.
he thinks that about you too, Kim.
Yeah, right. Anyway, that's fine. I hope he does. But anyway, no. But yeah. But it was weird. I was like, what are we doing here? Like we're having fires, and what is happening? Like you're burning up and stuff. But then what happened? Okay, I watched the whole thing, and then I watched the trailer. When I watched the trailer, my mind changed about everything. Because at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to want to do this. But then I saw the trailer, and like what Chris said, I haven't read the books, but what Chris is saying from the trailer, it looks like they are going to go back, like with his mama, Gabriella, and she's in like 1800 gear or whatever, her clothes and stuff. So I'm like, they are going to go back and really, like, I guess, tell his story. Because he's pissed about the story that Louis told. He's very upset about that. So I'm thinking he wants to tell what really happened, and this is what they're going to do. This is what this season is completely about. But I was happy to see all the vampires come back, though. Like that was really cool. All of them look good. Louis looked fantastic as usual. Amon looked really good. So everybody looked really good.
Amon looked good. Amon's sporting an eye patch now. Like, oh my goodness,
he still looked good. I mean, he's a good looking guy. So I mean, all of them look really, really nice and stuff. But second episode, I'm hoping like Chris said, there's not that much. I don't want to see that much singing and rock and roll. For one, unfortunately, that actor is not a singer, so they could have dubbed his voice with an actual rock and roll person. That to me would have been better because this young man does not know how to sing, and the songs are terrible. So you put those two together, it's bad. So, but I did there's certain things I did enjoy. Like the fight at the end, I thought that was really cool. The way that all the vampires were fighting and stuff. But I'm hoping I'm gonna give it a chance. So let's get to the second episode.
There you go. Be positive.
Yeah.
So the opening kind of jarred me because I before it started, I always thought that this version of the story would be in the end Louis and Lestat would work it out, right? And then like they would end their lives together, like so hundreds or whatever years in the future. They're like, we did all this, and we don't want to do this anymore, but we're gonna go out together, kind of like The Last of Us, like I thought. But to hear that Lestat is gone at some point in the future, like Lestat is gone and Louis remains and Armand remains, but like this battle, I'm assuming this big convergence, like the vampires fought it out, is what I'm understanding. Somehow Lestat is responsible for that, but now the world is, a select few are bidding on his leftovers, right? So the fact that Louis still around, and I felt kind of bad about that. So I'm like, this is clearly only going to be one season. But the narration, I'm assuming Louis wins the auction, and it's him listening to Lestat's final recordings and what all this means, and that's where the narration's coming from, because it's a whole lot of it. So I'm hoping that's what it is. But are we gonna? But remember when we left season 2, Louis was on the chopping block The vampire community was like, you put this book out and we're coming for you. And he was like, well, come get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm ready for you. So how did the vampire community get over that? And now all of a sudden it's Lestat who's done too much. And now every vampire is trying to kill him, you know, as he goes from city to city. And I thought the last fight was pretty cool. But Chris, since you read the book, well, how much of is any of that in the book?
I mean, if audiobooks count, whatever.
No, it counts.
Didn't read it. I listened to it. Okay, I cheated. Okay.
But he's a singer, so listening to it is fine. But was any of this in the book, the Great Convergence, or this big old battle of vampires and stuff, or like was that also?
I don't think that happened. Some of that stuff don't happen until Queen of the Damned, like the next one. You know, that's why I was thinking that. Like, I don't know. I think they kind of just some. Well, I guess it's not flash forward because it was supposed to be. I guess around the same time he's in the band, but because the book ends in the cliffhanger, and then it leads to like, you know, like, because of all the atrocities he did, he must be brought to her. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, I don't remember an epic battle in the present, because that's what it's supposed to be, is the present with him fighting vampires. Oh, I take that back. Oh, it does. I do remember them saying that, like, over the years, because word got out as far as everything that happened throughout both what's happening in the theater and him just basically being like, hey, look, screw this whole giving my own little like vampire coven or whatever. I just kind of live on my own rules and whatnot. And him being in such public eye, other vampires and like did start to try him, and because he was older than the majority of them, he was able to kind of take them out. You know what I mean? Until the one that he was much younger than, but you know what I mean? So yeah, no, he's gotten to fights, but they never had like this whole John Wick security crew that were like, hey, let's meet in the bathroom real quick. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that one was different, which I respected. It was like a nice little, you know, modern day version of it. The whole, you know, I thought the whole pronouns thing was kind of funny, you know. That was kind of, you know, I was like, damn, she can stand up and do it. I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I was like,
well, it was a lot of pelvic power as he acknowledged. But I thought the fight was awesome. I mean, it was a great. It kind of changed the pace of it of the episode. But let's get as we always get to positive. Jamani, is there anything that stuck you out as positive about this particular episode?
I guess we still have the remaining cast from the other two seasons, so that's good, as opposed to it just being just Lestat all by himself. I don't know. It's still too fresh for me to say that there's a lot of positives. I'm like, I thought that Talamasca show got canceled. So are they trying to fit that into this show or something? Or I don't know.
Well, Talamasca is always going to be around, though. Even though I know the show got canceled, it was not a good show. I tried, but they're always there. But they're the actual people that actually monitor the vampires and werewolves and all of the creatures that live among us. So they're going to be on this show to monitor.
And the same person was there. The same person was there from season 2. He was there like trying to bid on Lestat's stuff. So the fact that this fight is in the future, like it can't be like, you know, a century in the future. It has to be relatively recent because he's still alive and, you know, and at this auction, it still looks the same. So I'm saying, is this season going to end at that moment? Are we going to see this big battle that apparently he instigates? You know, Lestat instigates with his music. And I didn't see that in the previews. To your point, I saw the trailer. I saw Lestat losing his mind, getting into a car accident, going to strip clubs with his mama, and seeing Louis every once in a while. And I thought he was hallucinating. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff looked very like artsy and stuff. So I was like, is Louis actually going to be there? And like they're going to try to work this thing out. But I didn't see a Greek vampire and vampire just brawl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and coming, which I would love to see. But from the episode, Kim, did you have anything that really stood out that you did like? That you like? Anything else?
That I did like. I mean, oh, you know what? I had a question for you guys. The black person. I'm going to answer your question. I promise. But the black guy, the black woman was
Woman.
that wasn't a woman. That was
That was a
no.
woman. I'm going for a woman. That's not Akasha for one. Let's just get that out there because I thought that was Akasha and it's not. It's a human. Her
At
name.
first, okay, so at first I thought it was a woman. But if you notice in the scene where they're taking a shower in the background,
Yes.
their behind is just it. That's it. They're not showing anything front, right? And the shape of the person, unless she's built like her dad, um, that wasn't a curvy body at all. Like that was a man's body from the back. Then when they were standing in the hallway before the fight started, whatever, and she was standing there, I looked at the face and I was like, that's a guy. That is
Okay.
absolutely a guy.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if that's supposed to be playing a girl or playing a guy. Because when you even look at the front, there's no breast there. There's just it's just a
She's flat.
flat.
So
Yeah,
it her person's name is D. So to your point, it could go either way. But that's the
right. I
that's
mean,
that's her name.
yeah, it could be a transgender person. It could be a
Mhm.
post. I mean, it's a lot. It could be. But I was just wondering. I was just trying to make sure that I wasn't seeing that I was the only one who didn't see this. Okay. So, anywho, I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Is there anything positive that you liked about it, Kim?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm enjoying I love seeing Lestat. He's just beautiful to look at.
Okay. All right.
And I loved seeing all of the vampires. I was afraid that they weren't gonna all be there,
Mhm.
especially Louis. I was like, where's Louis? Is Louis gonna be in this one? But he is. He's gonna be in it. So I was really happy about that. And like I said, the visuals are excellent. I just wanted to continue, but like what Jamani was saying, I don't really need to see the rock band stuff. That for me was a negative. But everything else I would say was pretty good. Like I liked that Lestat was mad because he feels like the book is a lie. Like he didn't do these things or he did say these things, which he could have, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
So I actually did. I would say I did enjoy it.
Okay.
But I had to get past the rock band stuff. And
Damn.
he's very jealous. He's still he's a very jealous person. Um, and I was kind of like, why is he acting like? But then I thought about it. The bass, the guy who was playing the bass was trying to outshine him. And I
Mhm.
was like, does he not know that that is Lestat and Lestat's ego is the size of the room and you shouldn't do stuff like that? So I enjoyed that little thing too, that little banter back and forth with those two. I like that because that is Lestat. That is definitely him. So yeah, yeah.
Chris, anything you enjoyed about the episode?
I love that this episode was in Detroit. So this was Detroit. I know for you, Dave, I know the only thing I was missing was like maybe he was meeting up with some BMF folks. You know what I mean? That was. I'm just kidding. No, I just liked how different it was. At least this beginning episode. I like how different it was from the first two seasons, and I actually kind of like some of the comedy that we had in it. I know, I mean, and I know that's probably going to be the controversial thing for some people who are like, oh no, I don't want that in Interview with the Vampire. What the hell? You know what I mean? But I thought that was kind of cool, especially with the girl like that that he kept drinking off of that was like full of like ecstasy and all this other stuff. It brought some comedic humor for a character like Lestat in the first two seasons when we were watching them. Essentially, he was just kind of just being kind of like a you know what I mean? Kind of a drag. So it's kind of cool to just kind of see him like this.
I think that's because we're seeing him through Louis' perspective, and I think that's a major part of the series that he said I have scars on my chest. Like what happened to that, Louis? Like it's like so we have to accept that season 1 and 2 are Louis' story. It's Louis' story and how he either made himself the victim when he wasn't, as we kind of saw between season 1 and season 2. Like Lestat wasn't this big monster that Louis saw him as or portrayed him as. And now like Lestat gets to tell his story, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a good thing. The girl with drinking the girl's blood and seeing him high was hilarious because I thought and when I saw him in the trailer, I thought he took drugs, but it's like no, like she had it, and now he's like, oh shit, like I never did ecstasy before, and he was talking to her on the ceiling, and I was like, hilarious because in the trailer, Claudia, they show you Claudia with that audio of I die, you die, like she died. So I thought Claudia was gonna say that to him. I didn't realize that was this episode that he was talking to himself with that girl, in his head. But was that prophetic? Because if he's basically talking to himself, how does he know that Danny's gonna die horribly? Because that's what she told him. You die, I die, and he dies bad. And I'm like, how the fuck does Lestat already know that? And then even when, again, we're listening to the audio of him already doing all this stuff, like he's this is all his audio track, his book. So when he says things like Danny coming to save me, I earned it based on things I'm gonna do in the future, right? So it's like them coming to save me now. So all of this is his story. We're listening to his final testimony of what he did and how his life was. And I want to see who bought the stuff and who's listening to him when it's all said and done. And I'm hoping it's Louis, and he's sitting in his house and he has like the dress of Claudia. He has his brother's picture, and now he has Lestat stuff, and his family is with him. That's what I'm hoping. That's kind of like the final scene. Like we're all together now, as much as we were gonna be, which I am. And I thought I loved him with the candy. I love with the fact that he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna hand out Halloween candies to these kids and not eat them." And I thought that was hilarious.
That was funny. That was funny. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be like, "You here, little boy? It's been a while since I had a little kid," but he was like, "Just take the candies and shut the hell up."
No, it was funny with the camera. He was like, "It's not period accurate," and I'm like, "Yeah, you would know."
I was there, sir. I mean, but it's like we just saw him living his life. But like Louis is the driving force. Like him reading the book because of Louis, that's why he started the band. He went across the street. He was like, "Fuck you" in this book, and he went across the street. But like, why didn't Louis tell him about the book? Like Danny was on TV pitching the book.
No, but remember. Okay, so remember, like the last season, Louis burnt the laptop. And when he burnt the laptop, remember, Louis doesn't know technology of 2025. So when he burnt the laptop, he thought he destroyed the book. He did not know anything about the cloud. And they said that.
They said, but I'm saying, as we see, go back to at the end of season 2, he calls him, "Hey, did you get a chance to read the book?" "No, I didn't, man." He knew at that point, at the point that you see Danny and he goes off to kill someone, we realize he's a vampire now. Louis knew about the book. As I'm saying, it's like I don't think they're gonna tie this season to that, to be like, at what point did he go, the book is out, Danny's out here promoting it, and I need to call the stats just to be like, so he like, what did you say about me? And let's get back to the I don't remember Lestat threatening to rape Claudia. I remember him saying, "I will break your legs," is what he said. Like if you try to leave again, I will break your legs. And I do remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that part either. But I don't remember a lot because it was a while ago.
And he was heavily offended by this. But again, who told Louis in the first place? It was Claudia, right? It's all word of mouth. Claudia came back at some point. It was like, "Hey, this is what Lestat did to me to get me back into the house." And we don't know if that's true or not, but he's taking great offense to I didn't do that. That's not how that works. And are we gonna see these scenes again? It was raining, Louis. He's trying to rewrite the story. So how much of this are we gonna see the same scenes again, but from Lestat's perspective? And is that the truth? Or do we ever get to know the truth? It's always someone's perspective.
Right. I don't know. How many is this just gonna be one self-contained season? Because I'm like, he's lived 4 times or 5 times as long as Louis did. So I'm like, how can you fit all that story into one season and then, contradict all of the discrepancies with Louis' book?
It might be 2 seasons, just like Interview with the Vampire was 2 seasons. So maybe it'll be 2 seasons for Lestat, to your point. You know what I mean?
And they have to do Akasha also. They have to do the Queen of the Damned because she is in this season, and I think I thought D was her, but she, because he mentioned her. So let's talk about that, because maybe this is in the book, Chris. Do they address when exactly he was with her and when he got her blood?
What were you talking about? Who? I'm sorry,
Akasha. So in season 2, when Armand and Louis go to kill Lestat, at that moment he says, "You can't kill me because I have Akasha's blood in me, and I don't feel like dying today." Like now he feels invincible, right? So I'm like, at what moment did that happen? Because I'm assuming it obviously had to be after they left for Paris. So somewhere between him coming out, resurrecting himself.
I don't remember as far as that. I don't remember them crossing paths before all that. But I don't know. You got me there on that one.
I only saw The Queen and the Damned with Aaliyah, which was not a good movie, despite the fact, I mean, rest in peace, but that movie was not good. But to say it looked like they met like in present day. And that's when they became a couple, because she was infatuated by him, as I understood it, because he was a rock star. She was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see where this goes, type of thing. But in this one, it's like they did it somewhere in the whatever, like before he ran into Louis and Claudia in Paris. So because now he's like, I'm super, super strong, and y'all can't do anything about me now. But where's Akasha? She does die in all I know is the movie. So does she die? Does anybody know how she dies in the book? What's her official death? I'm assuming she does die in the book.
See, I'm not spoiling nothing, man. See, you try to do this to me like last time, man.
All right. So to be said, I think it should be noted that she's also not at the auction. The only one still walking around is Louis and Armand, and I think that's telling of who's not there. Okay, all right. I won't say too much. She wasn't there, but someone. Okay, an affiliate. Okay, I never. One of her affiliates, one of her familiars. Yeah. Can we say that?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
All right. Okay. What about Gabriella? Gabriella wasn't there either, and that's her son. So it's interesting that she wasn't there. But we're gonna get to. But anyway, let's talk about things for Kim. What would you like to see? What is there a particular character you want to get into as season 3?
I want to know about his mom, and is that his mom, or is that's his mom? He's having sex with her?
Huh?
Sex relative.
She had like 7 kids. Well, 3 of them only live. Only 3 of them live.
But they were real kids, like they came from her.
Yeah. He was the youngest.
Yes.
He was the youngest. Yeah.
In the trailer, he says there's a difference between a womb and a vagina, something like that.
Absolutely. Yes. There is. Okay. So when you're a vampire, it's okay to have sex with your mom. Okay. All right. I learned something new. Okay.
Different centuries, different cultures,
and different rules. Because like we talked about this before, like different vampire shows have different rules, right?
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. So I'm saying Anne Rice was like, no problem. We can have sex with our sons in this. Okay. All right.
But then you ask the question, who's the real parent? Because he made her a vampire. So in that perspective,
true, right? So he's the maker, right?
He's the maker. So he's the parent. So even she says in this, my maker called to me, and I guess she was underground because she said I'm in mud or something. Like she's texting, and she's like, I'm assuming she went underground as vampires do from time to time in this story. And he was like, get up and come here. So she got up, she popped up, and she came to America and be like, hey baby, I'm here for my son / maker / lover. And the same thing between Louis and Lestat, right? He was like my killer, my maker, my lover. Like it's all mixed up together. So how do I pick you? And I think in the book, Claudia was in love with Louis. Yeah, with Louis. And it's like it was a different. And even though she was a child, she was still adult on the inside. So even their relationship was a little bit romantic, at least in her mind. So it does.
Yeah, because even the one with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
she was in love with Brad Pitt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but I never heard. I know Gabrielle, so I would like to see Gabriella flushed out, and I
definitely want to see her. I want to see what is happening with Mama, because I was like, when I was looking at the trailer, I was like, wait a minute, what? And what I was trying to do, because you guys know I love YouTube and watching other people's reviews and recaps, and I was like skipping over all of that. I was like, nope, I gotta wait till we do ours. Because I don't want to hear anything else from anybody else. I need to hear my team first, and then we can go to other people. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was like, no. And so I want to hear what people have, because everybody's going to have their own opinion about, Gabriella and Lestat. So I was like, I got to wait. I got to see what happens. But yeah, that's what I'm curious about, that part. That's my biggest. And I want to see Louis. I want to see what's going on. You know what? Can you guys refresh my memory? What happened to Louis' foot?
So again, that's part of the fight. His foot is fine in the present. something that's the future. Like this fight
Oh, got you.
that's to show that
Okay.
he's been through it. He's been through it. Armand's been through it, and they lived through it. But it was hard, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going to happen to him, and the fact that they're showing it in this first episode, that's my question. Like, all of that is going to be one season, or is this the end of the Anne Rice universe that they're going to put?
No, well, remember, Anne Rice, her son, they had completed the deal where they're gonna make all of her books on AMC Plus.
Okay.
So that deal has already been inked. Now whether they're gonna get a season 4 for this one, we don't know that yet, but we do know that her and her son made that deal before she passed with AMC Plus. Yeah.
So maybe Akasha is only slightly mentioned in this, and then she gets her own series because she got her own book. I mean, it'd be kind of wrong for them just to shove parts of her story into this and then call that a day. But anyway, Jamani, so did you ever watch Queen of the Damned?
No.
All right.
It's okay.
Yeah, you did.
That's quite fine. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was, man.
I'm just like, why the books and the movie Interview with a Vampire is time specific. Now they're trying to move stuff up. Excuse me. So why doesn't he do like a more modern type of music instead of rock music? It's not the 80s.
Well, rock is still around.
Right, rock is still around. People still do rock and roll.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I mean, he can't do a hip hop album like that.
He's doing like like not metal, but like
big hair band. I understand. what you're talking about. So I think
like EDM or something like that. He could be like an EDM DJ or I don't know something.
No. You bring up a good point. Like big hair rock is not a thing anymore. Even grunge beat big hair rock in the 90s. I mean, there was a time when they had to transition. So they should have stated at some point that's the music he enjoyed at some point. Like, and maybe so to him that's where he stopped. You know what I'm saying? But I see your point. It's kind of weird.
The story's gonna get messed up because the books have certain points. Like the Louis story starts in the early 1900s, and then you revisit him as a drug addict in the 70s. And then there's like a 50-year gap where it's supposed to be like just a 20-year gap until you get to the 90s. So I'm like, how are you filling up all of that time?
What? Wait a minute. What? So you mean in this show? Like, how are they gonna fill up?
Yeah.
I don't think they are. Like, I mean, so it's 2025 is what it is. And then again, they're gonna go back to the 1800s, but I don't think they're gonna fill up those decades. We're not gonna relive all of Interview with the Vampire. So I'm sure they may do a scene here, a scene there, just as they. But I don't think we're gonna rehash all of that story. Like, I think it's gonna be more of him as a child, him with his mom, him with being made, him with Nicholas. But how do we transition to those stories? Like, Louis was being interviewed by Danny, so it made sense that he was having these conversations. Right now, Lestat is just using Danny because Louis did. Like, he's just trying to get back at Louis, really. So, and he's not even talking to him. So, like, at what point is he really going to get serious about this interview and be like, okay, this is what my childhood was like. I killed wolves as a kid, and that's how I guess that's how he ran to Magnus and that sort of thing. Like, at what point do we start transitioning to these stories where they're going to be like a whole episode and it makes sense? Again, that he's talking to some, because right now he's just on drugs. I mean, he's just happy having a good time. Like, he's not focused on talking really to Danny. So I don't know how they're going to transition to a real interview.
Will Lestat ever find out that this isn't the first time he talked to Danny? Like, he's like, the book came out. Yeah, I talked to him, but I burnt the laptop. But you got to remember, he talked to him in the 90s. And then remember, Louis called him back up, like, was it 20 years later, and said, 70s. Yeah, let's do another interview.
I think it was the 70s. I think, but I hear your point. This was the second interview. To your point, this is the second interview.
Yeah,
I think that only comes around if Armand is when Armand is more introduced into the story, and then maybe they kind of rehash that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because he said when you were hurt, that was in the season 2. He was like, when you were hurt and Armand called me, why did you try to hurt yourself? Like, that was during when he talked to Danny. So they may try to revisit like that piece to an extent. But hey, actually, so Chris,
what's up?
No. So like this season, what major thing from the book would you like they have to do if anything that you feel like that needs to be in this?
I mean, well, go back in the past and actually go with the idea of go to the portion where we have Magnus and how crazy Magnus was at the time. I don't know. Gabriella wasn't that. I don't think she was that interesting. However, the way he turned his mother was very interesting, but it's like the whole typical, like, oh, she was dying or whatnot. So he did this thing for her type deal. So that needs to be in here, especially after seeing that finale, that how it ended, with her coming back. So, that needs to happen. If this is a one-shot season in the sense of like, this is it for like the Lestat, it needs to end on like straight up like cliffhanger. Oh, you're screwed. Like now you must be presented. You know what I mean? For all the terrible stuff. I didn't see the trailers like you have, so I can't think what was in the trailers or whatever. Okay. Unless maybe that was a flash forward or whatnot.
Presented to who? You said presented. Presented to who?
Oh, to the queen herself. You know what I mean? So again, I didn't see the trailer, but I mean, but that's how it ends. That's how it's supposed to end. So
okay.
Yeah, it ends with that, and then it goes into Queen of the Day. You know what I mean? So
okay. So he's okay. So they mean like so. Okay, for the record, you're saying
essentially it ends with you don't know the fate of what happened to Lestat because literally like everyone grabbing him and essentially saying like, oh, you screwed up, like you know what I mean? Like
and then they go into the Queen of the Dam. That's the next book.
Much, yeah.
Okay. So I didn't.
That's what needs to happen. But again, I didn't see the trailer that you guys said other than the teaser. So you telling me that I was like, I don't. Okay, I don't know if that was some flash forward stuff.
I think I saw
unless they showed her in the past because they crossed paths in the past. But you talking about the whole drinking part. I'm not familiar with that part. You know what I mean? But
that like I said, that was just in the show, and he said it like 3 times in the trailer. Like, I got the Queen's blood, like you can't kill me. And again, he said that last season. So at this point in 2025,
all that means is that just means that he's a descendant. I think that's all he meant by that. I don't think that you know what I mean. I don't know. I gotta look at that. I gotta look at that trailer. I gotta look at the trailer. Yeah.
So is he talking about Queen of England, or is he talking about Queen of the Dam? Like who is he?
He said Akasha. Last season. He said, "I have a blood of Akasha in me. You cannot kill me." And he said, "You may not know what I mean, Louis, but like Armand does." And Armand was like he looked like, "Yeah, I do. I understand the significance of the words that came out of his mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this blood drinking happened, but like I say he drunk the blood. So maybe they're trying to go. To me, I think they're going with at some point in the past, as we would see it. They ran into each other. He got a pint or whatever, and now he's super duper. And maybe so in the trailer, he's walking with a black woman. Let me tell you what I saw, and I got confused. He's walking down a hallway with a black woman, short hair. She looks like D. That's my problem.
It's the same woman, I thought.
So that's what I thought. So it must have been her. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me get the group back. There you go. I was like, damn. I think it was the same person. It was the same person. It was the same African American looking person.
Absolutely,
walking with him, and therefore I thought it was Akasha, like they were a couple. Because that's how it was in the movie, right? Like again. So I thought, but no, maybe it's D. Maybe it's D to your point, Chris. And Akasha is later in the series when he fucks up so bad that it's like you got to be brought to the Queen and she has to deal with it. Maybe.
I have a question. Why? And maybe Chris can answer this question. Why would those vampires in Detroit? Why were they trying to kill him? What did he do to them? Or is it because he came to their town and didn't tell them or something? It's like, is this like a check-in? Like what they do with rappers? Like what? What is it?
Rappers?
You know how they make rappers check in?
Yeah, because we pretty much we saw that in Interview with the Vampire when they went to when they went to Paris for the first time or whatnot. It's like, yo, like, hey, like, say hello when you're in town, type deal, But
but they kept coming at him though.
No. They're saying that he he is out there. He's presenting to the world that he's a vampire. He's making they said that you were breaking the law of
Oh,
we
gotcha.
not reveal
Okay.
ourselves to the world. Which again, why Lestat Louis at the end of season 2, Louis was hearing the voices of the vampire, like, you put this book out and we're coming for you. And again, his approach was come and get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for you. But they didn't come, apparently. Like they didn't come after Lou. They're coming after Lestat, I guess, because he's on tour and he's using the book to be like, well, this is who I am. But again, now he's pretending to be a vampire. That's the story. Like the cover story is that he's that Danny made him up. He's just a regular dude who's pretending to be a vampire, but actually is a vampire. And they kind of went through all that dialogue. So, and then the one of them had the tattoo of Armand was right or something like right. So it's like, and I don't know if I think they read the
Yeah.
book. I think they read the book and then they're trying to create their own coven based on the principles of Armand, I think. And I think that's why they wanted to kill Louis. So we never, I guess I'm saying, I think why did Armand want to kill Louis in the first place? Because he was a part of killing. It was because they killed Lestat. You know, saying like, what rule did they break? I'm glad that they didn't do dub or get a real singer. It would have taken away from the grunge aspect of the music. So again, I know, right? Like you want to know it's him, but it's too much either way. Like I'm not here for MTV. Like I didn't, I try to be negative, but I'm hoping that we're done with like a concert thing. Like I don't need to see him sing the same songs 150 times. I watched What's Love Got to Do with It, and even then I was like, I got tired of a big wheel keep on turning. I'm like, okay, we get it. You're a singer. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So even and that got on my nerves after a while. But to his credit, he is trying. He is trying to and he's doing tours. Like he's doing legit concerts now, like to promote this show. And I'm like, what? So they're
the
committed.
actor himself? The actor?
Yeah, no. Yeah, the Sam Reed, he's out there doing like wannabe concerts, I think right now.
Are you serious? Why?
Yeah.
You can't sing. Like
Yeah, it was Wednesday night Beacon Theater in here, and they're having another event tonight, 7 p.m. for the premiere, and then there's a concert afterwards. Yeah.
Oh
wow!
All the people in like some of the discords that I'm a part of, like, we're trying to get tickets and all this other type of stuff, and yeah. Like,
you know what? Okay, this makes sense. This kind of makes sense because when you read, so if the book of Lestat, the version that you're reading is supposed to be the version that the vampire Lestat created, essentially. So essentially, you as the reader is supposed to be reading this, but then it's supposed to be the reader's interpretation, saying, was he really a vampire, or is he just someone posing as a vampire as he portrayed as the rock star? So this is kind of I guess that would be kind of cool. I guess, because they're like, oh, look, I'm just performing. I'm promoting this show. You know what I mean? Where I play a vampire. So that's good marketing. I think that's good marketing. I didn't even think about it from that angle. But to your point, Kim, if he could sing a little bit better,
he would be way better. Like way better. He's got the look. He's sexy. He's got the hair. All of that. But
as that commenter said, grunge. That sounded a lot like grunge. I mean, it's not. He's not going to sound like this is Foo Fighters. You know what I mean?
But okay, you know what I'm thinking about, like Steve Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Steven Tyler. I love him. I think, but he's not the best singer. But he's got the sex appeal. He had the look, right? And so therefore he was able to, skyrocket and be, we love him. But he's not a great singer. He's just not. But the way that he made, the sound of it, the look of it, all of these things, we were like, okay, yeah, we love Steven Tyler, So okay, maybe this is what Lestat is doing.
Well, to your point, Kim, it would have been good. To Jamani's point too, and they make a point of saying this. It's 2025. Like, we're trying to make America great again. So like they're trying to let you know it's last year, but still right now. It would have been awesome as he's building his music career when he's sitting up there with the fake piano in season 2. He's like, Aerosmith, Poison, that's when rock was something like, of all the genres that I've been exposed to, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm trying to be. Like, I was there when the Rolling Stones first started. Like I was there, you know what I'm saying? And I remember that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to bring back to be like, and that should be part of Danny's interview. Why are you sounding like, some shit that went out in about 1989? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are you stuck in that time frame? That could be part of the interview.
Isn't that kind of what
But
he
it could
said?
also be that Lestat is going to do what Lestat wants to do. So
Also,
whether you like it or not, he's going to do the kind of rock that he wants to do because his ego is so big,
yeah,
right? He doesn't even
yeah.
fit in the room. So he's like, I don't care what's going on in 2025. I'm going to take it back to where I like the music,
That's what
the sound of the music, and I'm going to do it this way.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like,
Dave, I think they kind of somewhat answered that though in a way, because in the book, when it was created, when Aaron wrote it, it was the 80s. So it was present day 80s, and he was in the rock band in the 80s, present day. What Dan's character was basically saying is like, look behind me. Post Malone is playing here. All right. You got Post Malone and you got Jelly Roll or whatnot. This is what people had, and then basically that response was like, hey, look, like this is what I like this. I think that was their response. The response to, them.
Yeah.
What I appreciate is them trying to keep it book accurate. I think they were trying to do, you know what I mean? They were like, all right, fine. This is present day. And I know some people are going to be like, wait a minute, that ain't no present day music. You know what I mean? And I guess that was their explanation.
No,
to your point, because the rock music is supposed to be the important thing. It don't, like the stuff about Lestat or whatever really don't make any sense if he's doing like EDM, for example, because it's supposed to show, which I'm sure they're going to show in flashbacks, is like how he becomes so gifted when it comes to music or whatnot. Can't really do that if all you're using is computers and stuff like do EDM. Like, no, it's supposed to show how he's really like into the strings and why he's so like gifted and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because if you want to base it off of today's music, people ain't making their own damn music nowadays. You know what I mean? It's just not. You want to be for real.
Shit out of it.
They sample the hell out of everything else. So
that's true. I thought so. No. To your point, I do agree that it was part of the conversation. You're doing like very small venues compared to the stadium. Like, how does this make sense? He's like, I like small venues. Like, I don't want an empty seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is who I am. But then once he breaks through this barrier, once he has his mental breakdown on stage, then all of a sudden he gets the vibe, and he does get those huge stadiums at some point. So then his message grows. What's up, Giovanni? I'm sorry.
No, I was basically gonna say what you said about like him doing the 800 seat venue, and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess you just have to suspend disbelief. So
yeah. It's vampires, bro. We got bigger issues. Like I mean, I felt like it was like Twilight. To kind of like, oh my god, like it's like the sense of like the vampire community is like, you are, you're doing too much. We got to take you down. There's a vampire council, like that kind of shit. Like this thing. I mean, I know Anne Rice came first, like chronologically. So I'm just saying, but like we've seen this story of the vampire usually because they get with a human, which ain't happening this time. So I'm happy with that. But like they're going too far. They're about to have a baby, some silly shit, and then like the senior vampires have to come get them. They have to fight and that kind of stuff. I don't want to see Louis, Lestat, and Armand like standing together fighting an army of vampires. Like I'm like, please don't
like
do
the Justice League or something, right? Like
yeah. I don't need that. I don't want that. Even though Twilight was trash the way they ended that, but because it was all mental. It was a dream, some bullshit. But anyway, I was like, if they do some kind of big vampire fight, but we need to see how they ended up broken. That's what I'm saying. They do that in the first episode for a reason. So they're going to bring it back, and so we got to get there. I think. At some point. And Gabriella, I am interested in when Louis. So then in the you didn't see the trailer. At some point, they're having some kind of arbitration where Louis and Lestat are having to sit down and like, and then they have to. They're arguing over property, like they're getting a divorce or some shit. And then Louis brings up Armand, and they start going back. No, Armand. Lestat brings up Armand, and then Louis like, you want to talk about him, and they're still like bickering, like they're like an old married couple again. They're fighting over something, and I'm like, how's that gonna fit into this story? So I'm hoping the music takes a huge back step at some level, and then like as Kim said, right, and then we get to the
like I said, I was surprised that we saw the full episode of it the way that we did to begin with. So you know what I mean. I honestly thought maybe if they were going to do it like this, then we probably have like a 2-part episode. I really thought, I was like, ooh, maybe there would be like, you know how sometimes they release like the first 2 episodes of a season,
Oh yeah, okay, I get you.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Or because it's AMC, because sometimes AMC does this, they'll make it like, because it was like 50 minutes long. Sometimes AMC makes it like an hour and a half or something, a really long episode.
Yeah.
This one, I thought this one would have been like that. I don't know. I don't know what if they really are truly going to spend the most of the time in flashbacks, which would only make sense and should make, I'm just wondering what the rationale was to make the full. I don't know. Maybe it was just to ease you into it. I'm not sure, because I'm wondering if other people kind of felt the same way as Kim did with the whole like, you guys are about to lose me. This is what this new season is. You know what I mean? And because I personally thought the episode was still nice. I thought the episode was nice, but just kind of knowing what the seasons, what it's supposed to be, I was like, oh, okay, all right. It's just all right. We're doing a full episode about this, and but all right, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, next episode we're going straight into the past, right? You know what I mean?
Well, 5 of the 7 episodes are named after cities, so it feels like he is.
Are you serious, for real?
5 of the 7 episodes are named after cities. So at some point he's on this tour, and Danny is interviewing him as they go on tour. So maybe that's what they do. He stops in a city. Again, did you stutter as a child? Yes, I was born in 17, whatever, and this is my life with Gabriella. Next city, like, okay, like, what do you mean you killed wolves? When he gets to Toronto, like, maybe that's every stop is an interview, and that's how we get to the past. And I pray to God it's more, like you said, more flashbacks than on stage, but something has to be happening in the present to be the danger, to be like Louis and that kind of stuff, to get Louis into this. So it's gonna have to be some kind of current day stuff. I don't know. What's up, Javon?
If they have enough music to do a concert, it's gonna be all throughout the season. Like, they wouldn't be doing they wouldn't be doing multiple concerts if it was just, we only have enough songs for one episode and then they're just playing the same song in different venues throughout the season. No, you're gonna see a lot of music. So
recorded? It said that there was a recording of 115 songs that Lestat had. So during the auction, if you remember. Yeah. So, and it was about like his life. So that's why that surprised me when you said that, David, because I didn't know that like they were based off of. I mean, other than this, I know this episode is called Detroit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't know the other episodes were going to be like that. So
New York, Toronto, Toledo, Montreal. Yes, Toledo is next week, and then Toronto.
Which will make sense because Detroit and Toledo is right there. But then but because it's so close, I would imagine like they were just like, "Hey, I'm here in Toledo," and then it goes back, and I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I really thought in my head, I'm thinking every episode would start off with the record, like where it's like, okay, you like track number 82 or something.
Yes.
That's what I thought was going to happen until you just told me that, and I'm thinking like, oh shit.
But then, like you said, the whole narration, the entire narration is this record collection. Like someone is listening to this, like, and they're like, record one, and which records is the thing now, which is another story. But like,
the records are back. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's a real thing, right? So like, someone is listening to these records and being like, what was Lestat's life and his life like in his final days? Almost is what this is going to be. And and again, if it's maybe his mom and maybe Gabriella and Louis are sitting down listening to it and like and remembering him, like maybe
But what was the point? Okay, so what we're listening to, I guess, will be the record. I think it's called Failure, right? So we're listening to the record. Why did they burn his actual music? Like, why did he have them burn that music? That didn't make sense to me. And then the Asian woman actually bought the burnt music.
Yeah, I think that. But you saw Louis' face though.
Yeah, like, he laughed.
That's him, right? Like that's him. Like I will show you my great work, but I was gonna burn it in front of you. He's like, that's Louis. That's Lestat. That's my Lestat. And I love. That's the part of the scene I loved. I thought was a story between those two. But yeah, I don't. And then the people left. And it's like, but we don't know who bought. I don't know. And then there's a pint of his blood in there, so that's a story right there, right? So like, and Akasha's blood should be mixed in there. So Magnus, his power should be, all of that should be in the mix.
Wait, they didn't say it was his blood. I think they just said it was pint of blood. Did they say it was his
said
butt?
the curator.
I thought they said it was his butt.
Oh, they did. Oh,
was...
you know what? That's right. They did say the worst cure. Okay. You know,
is Angelina Jolie and
Billy
Bob gonna start walking around with it as a chain or necklace or whatever?
Dang, you took it back, Jemani.
You took it
way back. Way back. Yeah.
How old were you when that came out? I was a kid with that.
5. You were probably 5.
This is the season of flashbacks and series to save the budget. The band did this in real life. A band did this in real life in the 90s. They toured as vampires. Is that what you're saying? Please explain just real quick. Did they tour as a fake vampire group? And what was
the name? They come out as Satan's Night Out. Is that their name?
I know, right? Satan. What? No, I think the Dave Chappelle skit. David and Kim, what's your plans for y'all birthdays? I had dinner last night. That's what I did. But
I'm going to Texas.
So there you go. To see
shoot! Happy birthday! You know what, DeMarcus? You something, man. You know everybody's names in every show and movies, and you somehow
birthdays.
And you know everybody's.
I
birthday.
know, right? I'm like, how do you know my birthday? But okay,
Marcus.
Dude, I be on the panel with these guys. I've known David for how many years now? I didn't realize your brother.
I was like, we're that close. They burned 1 million pounds. Oh, wow. Okay. What was the name of the band? Please, if you're going. But anyway, so I had a nice birthday. Thank you, DeMarcus. It was nice.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. So no, anyway, so I yes, music aside, I'm looking forward to season 2. Less drugs. I think that's just because he got high in this particular episode, so we saw it from his perspective. But again, less drugs, more serious interviewing, and then we can see his life and how he got here. Is what I'm looking for. We get to this, so we'll say, Kim, any final words?
No, I really want to see what they're gonna do with season 2, and actually, well, just the rest of the season 2. But episode 2. I'm sorry, episode 2. I really want to see what they're gonna do because, like I said, I was kind of out when I first started, and I was like, wait a minute. But then, I got to keep watching. So, but yeah, I mean, it's worth watching. If somebody's never seen it, you should definitely check it out. But I would start with the first vampire.
In Brooklyn?
What is it called? Yeah, the interview with the vampire. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Interview with the vampire. Yeah. I would start with that. Don't just dive into the vampire Lestat. I feel like you want to know the story of him and Louis. It's a beautiful story. It is a violent story, but it is a beautiful story. So I want you to start with that and then go into this. So you get the whole story, right? So yeah, I can't wait to see what they have in store for us.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Jemani, any final words?
Yeah, I'm confused as far as what is the actual storyline? Is it the recordings or is it the documentary that Daniel was doing? What is the narrative? Yeah. I'm just confused as far as that goes. And that whole bathroom scene, that was just weird as hell. I'm like,
yeah, the one where they were peeing.
Yeah.
I'm like, and this scene is going on for 5 minutes. Time. Yeah, I'm like,
this is unnecessary.
You and that, I mean, this happened to a regular human. You peeing blood, you're like, oh, gotta get yourself checked. I was hurting just watching that. I was hurting watching that because that actually happens to people in real life that are vampires. I'm just thinking of the pain. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You gotta get your kidneys checked if you pissing blood like that.
At all, but definitely like that.
Period.
Anything else from my side?
I don't know as much about this whole universe as you guys. So I'm just.
You gotta watch did you watch the interview with a vampire yet? Have you watched that whole thing yet?
Yeah, I was here since the first season review. Remember
Oh,
the controversy that we had about the domestic violence and all of that?
Yeah.
Jamani, you asking me to remember too much stuff, Boo Boo.
No.
I can barely remember what I just watched. Okay.
Kim remembers herself being in videos that she wasn't.
Absolutely. I remember videos that did not ever happen. Okay, Jamani.
That was the thing. But we are saying, Jamani, in the bigger sense, you're just saying like the books and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, is Daniel gonna do anything other than interview? Like, are we gonna see him on the prowl, killing, eating, so on and so forth? Is he gonna be?
He was eating D. He was tearing D's neck up.
On D, he killed other vampires. I mean, he saved Lestat. I was extremely impressed with that. I was extremely yeah. I don't know how much of an independent story. I think it was what you're asking. I don't know how much of an independent story he's gonna get. I mean, I
don't think he's gonna get an independent one.
Yeah,
I think he's always gonna be the reporter.
Yeah, the narrator. Yeah, he's only
the narrator. Yeah.
Louis and Lestat are.
So as we get into the Queen of the Dam, is he going to be interviewing her too?
That would no, but you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point. They could go that route. They could just to keep these characters relevant and in these stories. And somehow Claudia and Louis will be there also for some reason. And they could do that. Yeah.
All right.
Wait, Chris, do you know that? Do you know whether in the book was it an interview? Queen of the Dam, was she interviewed or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
She's too No, she wouldn't do. No, she's too ancient for that mess. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
okay.
No.
Well,
it's just the whole. You have a strained relationship between Lestat and Louis and whatnot. So then when Louis does his thing, because they both have egos. So Louis does his thing with the interview, and then Lestat's like, oh hell no, like my turn. No, interview me now. You know what I mean? That whole thing. So it's which I guess they tried to do at the very end of the movie version or whatnot, but that didn't go anywhere. Well, I think that didn't go anywhere because Anne Rice didn't even like the way that Tom Cruise even portrayed Lestat in the first place. So that kind of.
Well, to be honest with you, this Lestat is, in my opinion, way better than Tom Cruise. Even though people love Tom Cruise. I would say Brad Pitt. I loved Brad Pitt. Oh my gosh.
It was an early example of Hollywood being Hollywood, and they just like, no, you got to put A-listers in this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's and that was one of few times that people say, hey, that don't that might bring in a lot of people going to the theaters and whatnot, but afterwards, as far as legacy goes, you know what I mean? So, but no, I don't know. Again, I didn't see the trailer that you saw with what you were saying as far as the Queen being in it, so that was a little different. But I'm hoping now, like I said earlier, I'm just hoping that we kind of go back into how it all started. You know what I mean? When he was like a young teen and that whole thing. You know what I mean? And all the craziness that he's been through leading up to Louis. However, I'm wondering if AMC is going to go the whole somewhat Hollywood route, similar to because of what Kim actually wound up revealing about what she wants to see. And I think how a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see more Louis. So I think AMC is going to be like, the audience wants to see Louis, so we're going to have to throw more of that in here.
Yeah.
And that's the problem about when you introduce like characters that I guess people care about so early or whatnot, that when you separate them or whatever and they do their own thing, they're like, no, I want this person. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I don't think this would make it if they didn't have Louis, because people love Louis and they like the way these two actors act together.
Yeah, right.
Because even like right now, I'm watching this thing called The Vampire After Dark Lestat. So it's like they talk about the show after the show. And so even as these guys, as co-workers together, they could be acting, but they seem to really like each other. You know what I mean? Like they seem to really get along. But and the way that they're talking about behind the scenes, huh?
No, I'll say no. You can tell from their chemistry.
Their chemistry is really good. Yeah.
And to that, and what's up, Jermaine?
I was gonna say, do you think that there's gonna be a series for Armand as well?
There is talk for that. They actually
is there a book?
I don't know. What they said that they either already filmed it or he's going to be the next story. That is.
Oh,
they're not going to go straight to Queen.
Well, again, they're just. But to your point, also that this has become a love story between Louis and Lestat, And if you can't get that, like, you're not going to get that in Armand. So the audience that started off with those two characters are not going to watch Armand because they're going to be like, where's Louis and Lestat? I mean, really, or where's Louis really? Because Lestat's going to be there. But if they do his whole life, so they're gonna have to figure out a way. And Claudia, like they're putting Claudia in this story because people want to see Claudia as a character. So even she's in this thing at some level with flashbacks. But anyway, real quick, so we got Isaac Demarcus's analogy us happy belated birthday. We appreciate that. Happy birthday, Prince. And Kim's is always says her birthday is Juneteenth, so it wasn't that hard to remember. I guess.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, apparently he said Prince too.
The artist. Oh, I don't know. When you said Prince, I was thinking of like maybe that was Kim's like nickname for her grandson or something, like was Prince.
No.
Oh no, you mean like the art, like literally
the artist Prince. Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
Thank you for that segue because I felt like that was the inspiration for the beginning of this. Previously on the series formerly known as Interview with the Vampire, and all I thought was Prince. I was like, I think they did that on purpose because that was and I know Jemima and I were talking about. I was like, season 3. It's like, no, this is a new series. I know it's season 3 because they're bringing all the characters along. Like this is just a continuation of said stories. But they said this is Vampire Lestat, but it's still the same universe. Like they're
right.
like,
when you go to AMC, it listed as like season 3. I mean, you know what I mean? It's,
in theory, yeah, technically. Yeah. But again, we have to take a step back to say this is a new something, which is why everything's really changed. But anyway, okay.
I just looked at Armand. Armand is there's a book called The Vampire Chronicles, and Armand, and the main character in the book is the vampire Armand. So if they make that, that's what it's going to be. That's the Vampire Chronicles.
They don't come till way much later. That's why I don't understand if they're going to do them.
But remember, they signed the deal is all of her vampire books, all of them. Are going to be on AMC.
So you want to skip like 3 books just to go to Armand? I didn't even gotten that
far.
Well,
no. We were asking whether they're going to have it. So I don't know if they're going to skip. I'm just saying that would be his book.
The only way they could successfully do half of these books, right? Especially when you're talking about Immortals, y'all need to like film it all at the same time in different locations, and then y'all be working along the clock. It would be like a 2-year thing, some Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings type stuff. So then, when it comes much like years later, and someone's like starting to like get more wrinkles or whatnot, you could just be like, hey, here he was when he filmed it 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Or something. Like I don't know.
That's how they're doing that Beatles movie, because it's supposed to be 4 different movie on each one of the Beatles, but they're filming it all at the same time and then putting them out separately.
They're doing
that's insane. That's
going to be a lot, but unfortunately I'm not a Beatles fan, so
like who's still alive? I mean, shit.
Ringo Paul, Ringo Paul.
Those are only 2 alive. Everybody else is dead.
But everyone loves John Lennon, though. Everyone loves John Lennon, apparently.
And he was the worst one out of all of them. Like he's a horrible human being. But
we gotta get to what show will y'all review first? We will do The Shy, and then we will do Raising Kanan on Saturday. We will review the trailer once they put it out. I will consider that. But I want to get into. I read all the Anne Rice books. The show doesn't do it for me. The show focuses on too much on the smuts. I would agree. Yes, it's very sexual. I didn't read the books. I don't know how far they went with that, but they definitely are committing to the fact that, and also, so show wise, again, Louis versus Lestat. Louis, being gay, almost being ashamed of it, or feeling like he had to be ashamed, right? Sex being the vehicle that I think he felt Lestat controlled him, like to an extent, and what he used to control Armand to an extent, and him being a pimp, like he didn't see sex as something positive, is what Lestat is trying to say. Like I think as he read the book, like Louis did not embrace the sexual part of being, a vampire, that kind of stuff. And Lestat is like, that's part of who I am and what we do. So I think we're gonna see a different perspective. We may see their love making from Lestat's point of view, if that's the thing. I'd be like, hey, it wasn't as crazy as Louis tried to make it out to be. I don't know.
But sex is part of vampires. Like it If you don't like, if you don't like the sexual part of vampires, you can't watch shows or movies about them because that's what it's about.
Well, it just depends on what. It depends on the show. It depends on the show and what they're trying to do. Like we're used to, like, again, to your point, True Blood was definitely like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's certain shows where
Vampire Diaries was like that.
Well, I didn't watch that.
Vampire Diaries was like, they didn't necessarily show them always hooking up, but I think it was also because it was on CW as well.
Also true.
You know,
yeah.
And that bullshit.
But it was very much applied, Chris. It was very much applied.
Yes.
Implied. Yeah.
Let the right one in. That was just bad all the way around. But it's a lot going on this week. The Oval. I'm not doing the Oval until I catch up. Queen. Yes, right. All the Queen's Men. You're right. All the Queen's Men, The Shy, and Raising Kanan will be Saturday. So thank you, DeMarcus. We do have a busy Saturday. Sunday will be from interview the Vampire Lestat. That's 2. What else? So I can think of right now. There's something, and then I'm not gonna be here the next weekend. Anne Rice didn't write Smuts again. So, but anyway, this is how you focus it. It was good character development. We're gonna see how the show goes. They do change the books. That is a fact. I mean, even I know Interview with the Vampire changed because they're trying to make it a different story and make it new for people. And this always happens when they try to make a either a TV or movie version of known literary material. They usually change something. But anyway, thank you guys truly for watching our review. What do you want to see this season? Do you want another season? You think there's going to be another season to the story? Is this season 1, or is this a closed book? They're going to move on to other books. And that since they do have a lot of material, because Interview with the Vampire was 2 seasons, therefore that's 4 actually. Anyway, you have a great week, and we will see you. I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching us in the chat.
I enjoy the view very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You'll be like, oh shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You want to go there?
Oh shit.
Casey, do your thing.
Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just going to end this broadcast and say bye.